Hello, everyone. This is Jess from Soul Star Healing and Tarot. I hope you're doing well today. This will be a collective reading for the energies of the full moon in Scorpio that's happening on May 12th. Um, I'm not an astrologer, so I like to always put that out there, just to make it clear to you. Most of what I know about astrology, I'm listening to from other astrologers. But from what I've heard, there is quite a lot of interesting energy going on with this full moon. And most of it will be affecting fixed signs. So we have Taurus, we have Leo, we have Scorpio, and we have Aquarius. With this full moon in Scorpio, we also have Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. Okay. So that's a lot of deep transformation. And Aquarius is humanity. So that's at a humanity level. Also, personal level. Pluto does not get very picky about where it wants to clean house, but Aquarius is humanity. So it can be affecting all of us differently, but cleaning house for us all the same. Okay. And Scorpio loves to do that deep dive into ourselves, into the shadows of ourselves. And with Pluto ruling Scorpio, these two are going to be working together. I do listen to Joe Theodore and Steve Judd regarding astrology. Those are the two I listen to the most, and they are on YouTube if you would like to explore this full moon deeper. Okay, so I am going to start this reading with a card from the Be Not Afraid Oracle. This is a pretty in-depth oracle, and some of the explanations are very long, but it works with archangels, fallen angels, and a lot of different spiritual aspects, okay? Celestial aspects, they call it. So I'm going to try, if we do get a card that has a long explanation, to cherry pick some points that seem important for the reading, but I will not read. Some of the explanations are 3 pages. We will not be doing that. I will spare you that, listening to me read 3 pages of information. All right. Spirit. Who is guiding this reading for us today? Interesting. We have a fallen angel here. Lucifer, the morning star. Okay. Let's see what this card has to say. And I feel like this one might be one with a very lengthy explanation. Okay. So again, Lucifer, the morning star. Lucifer, the morning star of Venus, graces the nascent sky and may be the most feared and misunderstood of all the angels. Their name means light bringer in Latin, and they embody sacred rebellion as the spiritual anarchist who ignites the path to autonomy. Their lore has been perpetually reshaped throughout history, like a gem catching the rays of an ethereal fire, different at each angle, yet fascinating all the time. In the celestial rebellion, this messenger's fall from grace was not a descent into damnation, but a deliberate stride towards self determination. In this courageous insurrection, the soul finds its own strength, its innate power to question, seek, and redefine its essence beyond the decree of ancient books and systems of oppression. Okay, let me just see if there's anything else here that. No, I'm going to leave it there. I think that is enough. But I think, you know, especially with Aquarius, I'm sorry, Pluto being in Aquarius, and Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, that there's that it's a very rebellious planet. It's a very rebellious sign. It fights against things that are, not working for humanity, and they are the activists of humanity. So whether it be spiritual or whatever, I think that there's a necessity right now for us to be a little bit rebellious, and possibly the potential that other people may not like it. Okay. And see us as if we're doing something bad. And in actuality, we're doing what's right for ourselves. Okay. Let's grab 2 cards from the Mike Wilcox Tarot and Oracle and see what the stronger energies of this reading is trying to tell us. Spirit, 2 cards, please. One more card, please. Okay. All right, we're starting off intense here. Scorpio would not have it any other way. We're getting right to the meat and potatoes. So here we have Lucifer, we have the Tower, and we have the High Priestess. So with this rebellion, okay, we are, first of all, it's very possible that many of us can have a Tower moment, okay? The universe is looking to clear and clean up the mess with this energy of the full moon, or the potential is there for us, okay? If we do not initiate that process for ourselves, spirit and the universe are going to want to come in and get things started for us, okay? There's parts of us here that are not built on a foundation, whether it be ourselves personally, our relationships, the way we've been dealing with life. It's not stable, okay? And with not being stable, it's not in our best interest to keep trying to make it work the way we've been doing it, okay? And interestingly enough, I know there's something to do with yods with this full moon, and I don't remember what it is, but generally this card has yods on it in like the traditional Rider Waite, and that is a symbol of an act of God. Okay, it's divinely guided. So we know whatever is happening here with this Tower moment is is spirit divinely guiding us. So even if it seems like a negative thing, it is not. Okay, it is there as divine intervention. And here we have the High Priestess. This may be somebody we seek right now, or this might be something that we're able to move our energy towards, especially going through this process and working with that energy of Lucifer there. Okay. There's a lot of clarity that can come from this situation that allows us to become the oracle, really just in tune with ourselves. And the thing with the High Priestess is she works in the shadows and she works in the light and she works with the unknown. She never fears the unknown. So when this Tower moment happens to a High Priestess, she doesn't get rattled. She is able to really go within, use her intuition, whether the intuition gives her the answers, guides her on the way to move forward, or guides her to the end result of the situation. She trusts that process. So there's something here about us going within ourselves to trust the process of this tarot, because a tower, because it is going to energetically help us grow into this very high vibrational version of ourselves that is extremely in touch and intuitive. Okay. She's also ruled by Cancer in the moon. Okay. So this is very much connected to this full moon. And keeping in mind, we have the pomegranates here. Okay. The pomegranates are the fruit of the underworld. Okay. She eats the fruit of the underworld. She doesn't fear it. Okay. So I'm going to take the cards out. I'm going to start with 3 cards from the Dreamy Moons Tarot. I take all of my cards out first, so if you'll just bear with me, once I get the cards out, the reading moves. 3 cards of guidance, please, Spirit. One more card, please. Okay. Now I am grabbing 3 cards from, it's just a traditional Rider-Waite. 3 cards of guidance, please, Spirit. Okay, and 3 cards from the Modern Tarot. Oh, perfect. Okay. Okay. So we're starting here with the 6 of Swords, 6 of Crystals. Okay. And what are we moving away from? Okay. This Tower moment potentially is going to give us that reason to say, no, this is not working for me. This is not what I want. I need to move on my path in the direction that most importantly serves my mental state to for my greatest and highest good. Okay. So we are moving away from all of the energies that don't allow us to be the truest version of ourselves. If people are judging you because they don't agree with your spiritual path or you're not in alignment with their beliefs, okay, that is being left behind. And there's a huge, huge, huge moon right there. Okay. So happening, perfect timing, right? This full moon is going to allow you to move towards your truer version of yourself. And that's especially in alignment with your thoughts and your mind. Okay. Who you know you are, but you're not being. Okay. Because of potentially what other people think. And what are you moving towards? The Empress. The Empress is Venus. Okay. That's the star that Lucifer resides. Okay. Coincidence? Probably not. You're moving towards the truest version of yourself. She is Taurus and she is Libra. Okay. Taurus, again, is one of the fixed signs that is going to be more affected by this full moon, from my understanding. I could be wrong, and please feel free to correct me in the comments if I am. So, with this Empress, this is really the catalyst of stepping into your fullest feminine energy so you get to that High Priestess energy. Okay. You're doing this in a very grounded way with that Taurus energy. And you're doing this in a very ethereal way, connected to that Libra card. Okay. Or Libra energy, rather. She is the most creative person in the tarot deck. Okay. She's constantly giving birth to new ideas, new projects, to new artwork, whatever it is that you want to create and be regardless of what anybody else thinks about it. Okay. Really feel like this full moon is about bringing us into the truest version of ourselves. Okay. That's the energy that is available. So focus on when you get on your boat to move towards your true mental state, when you think about who you are in your mind and you connect with yourself, who is that person? Okay. And become it. Become the highest version of that. And she wears her crown of stars. Okay. She's so connected to, there's 12 stars on her crown. Those are all the zodiac signs. She finds a connection, just like a mother, to all the what are considered positive aspects and negative aspects of everybody. Because when we have children, we love our children, even though they have flaws. We don't judge them if we're working in a higher vibration. Now, I know we all, there's parents out there that don't do that, but this is the ultimate mother energy. Okay. And make sure you're taking care of yourself in the process and nurturing yourself in the process, especially if there's people that you have to leave behind. Okay. Especially if it is a mother. And I don't know why I'm talking about mothers, but Mother's Day is coming up this weekend. And if you are a mother, happy Mother's Day to you. So, how do we start this process to the Empress? The Page of Pentacles, throat chakra, root chakra. We start working on grounded, okay, communication. Pages are always ruled by the throat chakra. They're messengers, okay? Grounded communication. So no more letting our heads put us in situations we have to move away from, right? We're going to learn how to be new in the way that we communicate, and we're going to do it in a grounded way. The other thing with the Page of Pentacles, because it is a new process and it does involve communication, communication is not always what we are saying. Sometimes we need to receive the communication. So ask for guidance. Okay. Find whether it's a book, whether you watch something on YouTube, whether it's a friend and somebody you trust, will give you grounded information. Look for the communication you need to receive from outside yourself to help you start the process. But also make sure when you're communicating with yourself, you stay grounded. Okay. And that'll help you move into this beautiful Empress energy where you know who you are. People respect the Empress. Okay. She's the Empress. Nobody's going to cross her boundaries. That's not going to happen. This is a very interesting combination here, this whole row. Okay, Four of Cups. So, to me, what I see is that emotionally, things have been very unfulfilling. Okay, and we don't really feel like putting a lot of effort into things that are emotional because it just doesn't, it's not feeding our souls. Okay, we're not, and again, we have a moon back there. It's not whether you've become complacent, whether you are comparing your relationships and your emotional state to other people. It's putting you in very similarly to the Tower when we don't recognize that things are just not on a solid foundation. Spirit comes in and cracks things open in order to shed the light. Okay. Spirit's coming in. There is emotional fulfillment available to you. And this state of mind you're in is not allowing you to see it. And when we're not seeing that all this emotional fulfillment is available, we tend to kind of feel defeated. But how do I know that it really is available to you? Because the Ace of Cups is here. So not only is it here, it's here as well. Okay. Spirit is really making the point that we are trying to send you and give you all of this emotional fulfillment, but we need you to wake up. And if you don't wake up and accept it, we're going to bring in a tower moment for you. Okay? That they have no other choice. They have to make it huge if if you can't see the subtle signs. Right? That's a subtle sign that spirit's speaking to you. That is not, and this is not. Okay? But whatever happens with that tower, do know that it's to force you to accept this Ace of Cups that spirit is trying to give you. Okay? And here we have, this is, I'm just noticing, this is crazy too. Okay. Queen of Cups. Okay. So in this process, who does this Page of Pentacles need to maybe reach out to? Okay. Somebody nurturing. We have the Empress, nurturing. Somebody that is very, so the Queen of Cups is connected to the heart chakra and the third eye chakra. She intuitively knows how to help everybody. Okay. She knows what you need to hear. She knows how you need to hear it. It's a gift. So connected to this High Priestess. Okay. It's a gift that she has of being able to connect that heart to the third eye and see where people are at. She's known as the counselor. She's known as the therapist. There's somebody here that can help you that is of this high vibration of the Queen of Cups. And they are really going to know exactly what you need. And it doesn't have to be a therapist. Again, feminine energy could be male or female, but somebody that really knows what you need for guidance that is led from the heart and also intuitive. See where she's at in your life. And if you know who this, or I'm saying she as the queen, male or female, if you know who this person is, go to them for that intuitive heart guidance that helps ground you so you can start moving forward. And what does this do for you? Now we have the Seven of Cups. Guess what this is? Venus in Scorpio. Okay? Now you have all of these choices to look at. Okay? But now you're approaching things in a more grounded way. Not in a, why are people always so mean to me? Why don't they give me the emotional support I want? And why do they always have great relationships? And I don't know, it's just it's just looking at the glass half empty instead of half full kind of attitude. You're learning how to not do that anymore. And you're also learning that when you're in environments that are not supporting you, in order to calm yourself, anxiety, depression, overthinking, you have to make the first step to move away from that and towards what fulfills you. Again, or otherwise spirit's going to give you the Tower moment. Seven of Cups. You're gaining the clarity now. And especially, I love this card after this Queen of Cups because she's the one here that's going to guide you to not find this confusing or not see a snake in a cup. Okay. Or not see where we're making choices because they look good for now, but they're not good for us long term. Okay. This Queen of Cups is going to give you a lot of clarity, especially around your choices. And this full moon is also allowing that for you. Okay. So when we start making better choices for ourselves and we have more clarity and we're doing it from a balanced emotional state and we're approaching it in a grounded way, right? That Page of Pentacles, we start to change this energy. Okay. This guy keeps coming out. He's coming out in every single reading. Him and I feel like the Five of Cups, although it didn't come out. in this reading have been coming out nonstop. Okay, so here we are. When we learn how to make better choices, we're now not putting ourselves in with, what am I trying to say? Around people, situations, experiences that make us feel that we need to withdraw, okay? That make us feel battered. And what they do is they drain our energy, because these wands should be producing something. They shouldn't be sitting here stagnant and keeping us closed away from people and guarding us, setting an unnecessary boundary that we don't need to set, but we're doing it because we're too tired to fight anymore. Okay, it's very similar to this. We're doing it emotionally and doing it energetically here. Okay, we want to look at these wands and we want to say, okay, I know some hard things have happened and it's really drained my excitement, my creativity, my inspiration, and I just don't feel like trying anymore. Okay. But the way we think about it could be different. It could be, wow, that happened and that was a really hard experience. What what part did I play in allowing that to happen? Okay. And sometimes we are truly victimized and there's nothing we can do about it. But a lot of the things that drain us day to day, if we had just set the boundary before and not after, we would have saved ourselves a lot of hardship. Okay. So we want to look at these as experiences we can grow from, right? Wands always have growth. And that starts to make this feel less draining because we're gaining knowledge and we're gaining experience for our growth. And that starts to build your vibration. And then you start using these wands for different things, because now we're raising our vibration and we're not staying in this stagnant, stuck, wounded energy. Okay? The last card here, not surprising, because I mean, there's so many things that are on point with this full moon. Death. This is the catalyst that is available to you. Okay. This major letting go of things that are not serving you. Okay. Childhood wounds, ancestral wounds, relationship wounds, womb trauma. I mean, some of us, our mother was in terrible despair while they were pregnant with us, and we carry that trauma with us. There's so many different ways that we can look into healing ourselves so that we can dive, Scorpio card, by the way, so we can dive deep into ourselves and face the little demons. Okay. We all have them. There's nothing to be ashamed of, and there's no reason to feel bad about it. Once we see where the little demons, I don't know if you can see them here, are within ourselves, we can put them to death. Okay. And we can start being a lighter, happier version of ourselves. Scorpio loves a deep dive. Scorpio loves an investigation. Scorpio loves looking at the darkest, deepest parts of themselves so they can transform it, because it's all about transformation. Okay. When we acknowledge the darker parts of ourselves, we can transform them. And then we turn into the butterfly from the cocoon. Okay. Don't be afraid. Allow things to, instead of feeling like you have to move away, get in a boat and take off. I don't want to say this card is running away from our problems, but if we approach the problems face on, we can just get rid of the problems altogether instead of having to move away from things. Okay? And with this death, look at the energy we have available to move into. Empress and High Priestess. She's absolutely mastering her earthly experience with that Taurus. She's absolutely mastering her thought and her ability to connect to the higher realms with that Libra. She's mastering her moon energy and her water energy here, her emotional state and her spiritual state. Okay, major, major, major energy available. Let's get some advice from spirit. And again, with Lucifer, don't let anybody make you feel like if you want to work on yourself and take a different path, that's because it's not in alignment with them, that you should be ostracized. Okay, if somebody wants to ostracize you because you want to be the truest version of yourself, they weren't really with you to begin with. Okay, my mother's Taurus. She she's very supportive and loyal. Okay, she knows I'm sitting here with crystals all over my house and reading tarot cards. She doesn't care as long as I'm happy. She's like, do whatever you want. She doesn't. I mean, she doesn't have any judgment against this, to begin with. But I've never heard one negative word about me involved in any of this spirituality. And she has her flaws too, but that's the support that we need when we're doing something that's considered different. Nobody should ostracize you. Okay. Spirit, 3 cards of advice, please. Ooh. Okay. I like this. Yes, sir. Very good. We're going to start with this 5 of Swords because this is the advice from Spirit. Because this is a challenge that they want you to focus on. 5 of Swords. Okay. This is a conflict card. And it's generally, yes, it can come from other people, but we've generally caused it because of the way that we communicate in our relationships. There's the 3 of Swords here, and the 2 of Swords are on the ground. Okay. So we create conflict. Okay. Because instead of creating boundaries with people or confronting things before they get out of hand, we choose the 3 of Swords. Okay, we're being submissive, but we're creating conflict. It's a very weird dynamic. You choose the 3 of Swords, and the 3 of Swords is heartbreak. It's the card that has the heart with 3 swords in it. But swords are about our mind. So there's something about the way we're speaking to ourselves or others that is creating a painful experience. And why? Generally avoidance, okay? And being submissive. Because we're avoiding making a decision. The 2 of Swords are down here. That's the card with the person sitting with the blindfold and the 2 swords crossed in front of them. Water in the background and the moon has to do with the unknown, okay? And with the water there, we know it has an emotional effect on us as well. So, and water's back here. So we know that it has an emotional effect on us as well. So in the future, move towards what you want, okay? Always. And especially if it's going to give you clarity and calm your mind. But this is a 5, that's a 7. Before you'd have to move away, if you take control of the situation ahead of time, set boundaries. Don't avoid conversations you don't want to have because you know they're going to be uncomfortable or they might start an argument and cause pain to avoid making decisions that then creates conflict. Okay? So look for those times where you can step in front and just take on the conversation with your boundaries. If things get uncomfortable, say to the other person, hey, I'm going to take a break. When I feel more calm and you seem like you calm down, we can approach this again. I'm not going to push it at this time. But don't allow yourself and others to be hurt by avoiding making decisions. Okay? And that can be decisions of staying in unhealthy relationships because you don't want to end it. Okay? We're learning how to make better choices for our cups here, for our emotional state. Okay? So that we don't end up in a energetic prison here and have energy vampires, leading us into situations where we're just stuck in a low energy prison, wounded. Okay, we're letting that stuff go. We're letting it go. Okay. So we have the Justice and the King of Cups here, which I love, because now we have the King and Queen of Cups. What this points out to me is that when you allow yourself to go through this process and do this work, that this Scorpio full moon would like to start for you in this Pluto retrograde as well, you start finding more balanced relationships of masculine and feminine energy, both working from the heart space. As I said before, she's working with that third eye chakra. The King of Cups, all kings, working with that solar plexus. These are people that understand who they are. They don't have to use manipulation. They are emotionally mature. They are not narcissistic. They don't gaslight you. They work with their highest masculine energy. Kings are leaders. Queens are guides. This person's going to show you the way. This person's going to guide you through the process. Okay. And whether you learn how to do this for yourself, and this is with these being cups and that high priestess being Cancer, absolutely this moves you into your highest vibration. Okay. So you're going to have that match of energy, the King and Queen of Cups around you, and you're going to develop that energy for yourself that then leads you to that high priestess energy. Okay. Justice, balance, truth, integrity. Okay. And now Justice is Libra, and that's one aspect of this Empress card, as I said. Okay, connected to spirit, connected to the ether, doing things that change the karma that you have, so those tower moments don't need to come in anymore. You're doing the work. Okay, so absolutely. And the tower is Mars. Okay, and Mars is in Leo right now, I believe, which is another fixed sign. All right, fairness, justice, balance, integrity, and justice. Again, like I said, being Libra, Libra is the we card. It's the opposite of Aries, which is the I, the self. Okay. So this, with Libra being the we, it affects your relationships with multiple people, whether it be your partner and your family, your partner and your kids and your friends. It affects that energy with all of the people in your tribe. Okay. Truth, integrity, balance. Okay. Well, I mean, that's a pretty cool full moon reading. I'm going to grab one the Moon Witch cards here to close the reading. If you did like this reading, I am new to YouTube. I've only been here for a little over a month. So I would ask you to like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. Most of my readings are spiritually based. I don't really, occasionally I'll do a collective love reading or different spiritual aspects, but I don't really like do career readings or love readings. Okay, like I said, occasionally I decide to do a love reading. Most of them are spiritually based. One card, please, Spirit. One card of guidance, please, Spirit. One card of guidance. Oh boy. Okay. Let me find this in the little book. All right, hold on. I'm going to look in the table of contents. I have such a hard time with this book because the cards don't have numbers on them. Let's see. 109. Okay. I'm going to take it with this card here. Okay. Focus your energy on one thing. Success comes in many ways, but most of the time, success comes from a strong focus. It is no secret that society forces us to multitask. We are expected to do more and achieve more every day. But in reality, by going after too many things at the same time, we spread our energy too thin. As a result, we do not end up achieving much. Multitasking can slow you down. If you want to create a profound change in your life, choose one thing. Deeply focus all of your attention on this one thing. You are a creative and passionate soul with brilliant ideas, but you cannot go after everything at once. In fact, you might not excel in any of them if you do not have the time and energy needed to master them. You can achieve anything you want in your life. You have limitless potential. Chase your dreams. Start by doing one project at a time and focusing all your energy, attention, and energy on it. And there's a little quote here: where focus goes, energy flows. Okay. So hold your one wand, focus, and stay focused on your journey here. Okay. And keep growing. You've got this. All right, collective. I hope you all have a wonderful Mother's Day, like I said, and the full moon. Do a nice ritual, do a nice house clearing, and I'll see you this week. I'll be doing water signs. So I will be doing Cancer, Scorpio, then Pisces. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.